Uh-huh.
Are we going to try again? Ah, there you are. There you are. Good morning. Good morning, daily huddlers. Today is New Year's Eve. So tomorrow will be 2025, and that absolutely blows my mind. I'm not one for New Year's resolutions, but I do try to think how I want to elevate the way that I show up for life and make a difference for others. And so I've been thinking that this year, something I really want to focus on is really showing my customers and clients some loyalty. And oftentimes I'll have a session or experience with them, and then we kind of lose touch. And that is a mighty shame. So I'm going to focus on that. And I thought we would talk about that today. Today is Tuesday on the Daily Huddle, where we talk about everything communication and relationships. And I'm your host, Tara Heaton. I have a co host, Catherine Sable, but she has decided to step down. So going forward, next Tuesday, we have some big announcements. Catherine will forever be a part of the Daily Huddle family. But we have some new hosts that are going to join me on Tuesdays, and I am really, really excited about what they're going to bring to Tuesdays. So today, we are going to dig into the topic, and I would love for you to interrupt, ask questions, or we can wait until the end. But I have pulled together what I have learned through all my years of studying of communication in the brain, three things that will help us to elevate loyalty within our clients in 2025. And at the end of that, I even have a bonus. So three ways to elevate loyalty with clients and then a bonus at the end. And to kick it off, as I often do, I'm going to tell y'all a story. So my husband used to live in San Francisco, and we did bi-coastal. So I stayed in Atlanta and he was in San Francisco, and I went there a lot. And there's a little town near the San Francisco airport, just a few miles away. It's called Burlingame. And Burlingame has amazing shopping. Well, I'm not one for labels, really. I like unique things. And there was a lady there by the name of Suzanne, and she owns a little boutique called Levin. She's from Turkey. And every time I would go to visit my husband, I would have to go to Burlingame and stop at this little boutique, see Suzanne, and find something special to wear. Well, my husband doesn't live in San Francisco anymore, but his son still lives out there. So once or twice a year, what do my husband and I do? We go to visit his son. We go to San Francisco. And of course, we stop in Burlingame. Every time we go there, the lady helps me find things that I need. And it's always a great experience. But my husband is kind of on the sidelines. He likes to go there for one reason and one reason only, not to watch me spend money, but there's these candies that are always on the desk, and he always eats one or two. And he loves these candies. They come from Turkey. The last time we were there, I go to pay, and he looks at Suzanne. He's like, "Where are your candies?" The candies were gone. And Suzanne said, "Oh, I'm just so sorry. We're out. I haven't ordered anymore." About 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago, we got a package in the mail. And this is what Suzanne sent to us all the way from San Francisco. These are the candies from Turkey. She ordered an entire jar, put them in a box, and shipped them to us. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I thought that was such a unique, inexpensive way to say to a client, "I care about you. I care about more than you coming in here and spending money. I've listened." And she responded with such creativity. Do you think that we will ever forget Suzanne and Levin in Burlingame? Absolutely not. So the first tip of today is to surprise and delight your customers. As a matter of fact, I highly recommend this book called Giftology by John Ruhlin. It's been around for a while. It's an easy read. It's a fun read, but it will make your brain explode in ways not to be predictable with gifts to our clients. And gifts do not have to be expensive. And that is going to take me to the quote of today that I wanted to share. It's by Mother Teresa, and she says this: "It's not how much we give, but how much we put into giving." And that is the message around surprising and delighting our client, which is our tip number one. Surprise and delight your clients, not by being extravagant, by putting a lot into the giving. I'll give some quick examples. One thing that I like to give away, and this has never ever served me anything but positively, and it is I give away knowledge. Whenever I have a discovery call with someone or just even an easy breezy conversation, if I think I can help them with what I've learned as far as how to show up with a microphone or to build deeper relationships or to close sales, I give away the knowledge. And do you know what that has done? It has grown my business. So don't be afraid to give away not only items to show appreciation, but freely give away your knowledge. It will bring clients to you. Some other fun things to give away. Super easy, but unforgettable are those handwritten notes. Send somebody a handwritten note with something that is very specific to show how much you appreciate them. Let them know that you see them as a person and not just a client or a ticket. So handwritten notes are great. Sending someone a coffee, send someone just like a special latte on a particular day that you know might be a difficult day for them. So get to know people. Remember that. Do the unpredictable. So, as I said, surprise and delight your clients. One of my favorite recommendations from the book Giftology, and I've done this a few times where it makes sense financially, but wow, what an amazing gift. Do you know how we tend to give clients and customers swag that is branded by our company? So that would be like me giving a cup or a hat or a t-shirt that says On Point Communication or Talk to the Brain. Rather than giving gifts with our brand on it, order a gift and put their brand on it. Now, that is an unforgettable gift. Yes, it would cost a little bit more money, but you would be surprised at how affordable ad specialty items can be. So if you have a big client with a lot of folks, don't send them a thank you with something with your brand on it. Send it with their brand on it. And I'm telling you, they will never forget you for it because you surprised and delighted your client. All right, let's dig into item number 2, talk to the brain tip number 2 around how to build loyal clients in 2025. And I'm going to do this again by sharing a story. My brother, my younger brother, has been a musician his entire life. That's all he's ever done. I think he waited tables a little bit when he was younger, but other than that, all he does is play music. Now, you could try to find him on social media. You could try to find him on YouTube, but you probably won't because he's never done any marketing ever. And he continues to have gigs, as many gigs as he can handle, and he has to turn them away. And just recently, he came to town to visit, and I said, I wish that you could get a gig here so I could bring all my friends to see you play your guitar and sing. And a day later, he called me and he got a gig 10 minutes from my house. I'm like, how do you do this, Jeffrey? And here's what he told me. He said, musicians show up and talk to restaurant and bar owners about their music and how great they are and how much they can do for the room. He said, I never do that. All I do is I go in and I ask them, tell me about the best band that ever played here at your restaurant. Or he will say, what is the most exceptional experience you can give to your customers by bringing music in here? And then they share exactly what they want. And by getting to know them, my brother is able to deliver not what he likes to do and where he thinks he's an expert. He delivers what they want. And that's how he's built a business. Let's see, he's 55 years old. He's been playing music ever since he left Musicians Institute of Hollywood back in the, mid 80s. So that's how he's built his business. So that's the talk to the brain tip number 2 when we're talking about building loyalty is know your client, know your audience. If you don't know them, ask questions. I liken this to experiences with realtors. I use residential real estate agents oftentimes as examples. One, because I've spent time with many of them. And the other reason is because I know a lot of times realtors have a difficult time really standing out in such a crowded arena of real estate agents. But one thing, I will use this example and apply it to real estate or even insurance, and that is this. The longer we're in a business, the more we tend to make assumptions. We assume people's priorities. Once we do that, we stop listening. Just because one person might want to sit and take an entire day, spending time in houses, getting to know each other, getting to know every detail. That does not mean that's what every client wants for their experience. So, for example, if you are a real estate agent, ask questions about how the client wants their experience to go as they're looking for a house. Don't assume that they want you to spend a great amount of time and sharing so many details about houses that maybe they're not interested in. The same thing can apply to insurance agents. I've had several insurance agents say to me, I can save you money. That might not be my priority as it relates to insurance. I like service. When I called to get my broken windshield fixed, it was immediate, fast service. If I pay a few dollars more a month for car insurance, that's okay because I'm about service. We cannot assume people's priorities. So that's your tip number 2. Get to know your audience, meaning your prospect or your client. If you don't know what their priorities are, ask. All right, let's talk about my final tip for building loyalty in 2025. And again, I have an experience that will really highlight this. Now, many of you know that because I've been talking about it for years, but many of you know I have written a book. And the book is going to be out in March of next year. So, the middle of this year, I started interviewing publishers. And in the world of hybrid publishing, I'm not looking for a book deal. You are looking to pay someone to help you put the book out into the world. So I interviewed a lot of publishers. Most of them came to me telling me about the business side of it, how much they could do for me, how much money it would cost, and how much they could save, and how much marketing they would do. All makes sense, right? But one particular publisher did not start like that. She started by asking about my book, why I wrote it, and what I hoped it meant for the readers. And as I shared this with her, she became so passionate about what this book would mean. That's the kind of person I want to work with. So the third thing is to be passionate, not necessarily about your work, but about what it can mean for other people. This publisher didn't tell me how great her publishing agency was. She told me how excited she was about my work because I was her client. So not only be passionate, I think that's a given, but be passionate about what your work does for other people. That makes people feel seen. It makes them feel like you're seeing them more than a client, that you truly, truly want to make a difference with the work that you do. I had a client not too long ago. Her mom called me. She said, my daughter has graduated from college. She's having no problem getting interviews, but she's not getting a job. And this girl was brilliant. Her degree was in some kind of engineering computer thing I didn't even understand. But she said, I think she could use some help with her interview skills. And so we had only 2 sessions together. We completely changed the way that she communicated with the people that were interviewing her. We completely changed the way she responded, how she showed up. And y'all, she called me and told me that she got a job with this little company called Home Depot. Talk about passion about what I do. I mean, helping someone to kick off their career, that makes me remember how much I love what I do. Not because I love doing it, but because of how it affects other people. So whatever it is that you do in the world, what you bring to your clients, remember to focus on what it's doing for other people. And that builds connection and loyalty going forward. So those are our 3 tips. I'm going to stop and see if they have any comments or questions before I share the bonus. But just to review, my 3 tips are surprise and delight your clients and your prospects. Know your audience. If you don't know them, don't make assumptions. Ask great questions. And the third one is be passionate, not necessarily about you and your work, but about the effect that it has on your clients and your prospects. So do we have any comments or questions about these 3 tips before I close us out with a bonus tip?
Hello, Tara.
Hello.
I do have a comment.
Awesome.
I'm particularly fond of tip number 2.
Okay.
And know your clients, know your audience. And you used your brother's example.
Mhm.
He goes there and he goes, what's the best experience you've ever had? one of the things I've learned to do in leadership and coaching others is to not only listen that way, but when they say it, to actually recreate it back to them, perhaps in their own words, adding their commitment, the commitment that I sense behind what they're doing, and even adding a little bit of their passion too. But now what I hear is that beyond recreating them in my speaking, it also works to have the product or the service I deliver recreate that too.
Oh, yes,
Wouldn't it
absolutely.
be cool if the service itself, beyond me saying anything, tells the clients in, and just as loud as it can,
Yeah.
this service, this product was built just for you.
Mm,
That's
absolutely.
that's what I hear that your brother does, and it's just so inspiring. I
Yeah.
want to
And
add that.
I think knowing you like I do, I mean, it's not that you're manipulating the situation, it's that you're actually customizing what you're bringing to the needs of the client.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, as a matter of fact, I'm so glad you brought this up. When I teach workshops, I always ask for discovery calls with people who are going to be in the room. So I'm talking to the boss, the VP, or whomever, and they tell me what they need and what they'd like, how they'd like for it to go. But where I really get the goods is by listening to the people who are going to experience the workshop. And it surprises them when I ask for this. They're like, "Oh, you want to take time to do that?" I'm thinking, I thought everyone would do that. But no, I can't show up with a stock workshop that I just keep giving
Yeah.
over and over again. It's got to be customized. So
Yeah. Customized, tailored, and kind of like good soup.
yeah, absolutely.
Soft to taste, a little
Right.
spicy taste.
Yeah, share your knowledge,
Yeah.
but make it matter to them and their world. So
Yeah.
thank you for adding in that. This is such a fun topic. I do have one more bonus to share. And I want us to ask ourselves a question before I do that. As I have observed people in communication for all these years, I've noticed something. Some of us have the propensity to mostly talk about ourselves and share too much. Others of us have the propensity to do all the listening and to do all the question asking. There's a sweet spot there. And I've learned this, and I even want to share some research around it. When I first kicked off my sales career, I would go in and sit down with prospects and I would pepper them with questions about their personal lives, about their needs, about what they wanted in a service representative. I did this for a long time, and it hit me as I watched other salespeople with their customers that that was not a relationship because I was not letting them see me. So, a relationship with our clients has to be two ways. It can't just be listening, getting to know them, being all about them. Those are all very important, but that's not a relationship. And I'll share something that I've read and studied a little bit where some people discovered the scientific truth behind this. It's something called the Fast Friends Project. And this was a research study done by this married couple. Their last name was Aaron, Aron, I think Arthur and Elaine Aaron. And back in 1997, they launched a project, a research project, to figure out how people became close and connected. And they came up with these 36 questions that they were going to give to pairs of people to ask each other. And the questions became deeper and deeper as the 36 questions went. And so what they would do is have one person ask the question, then the other person, and they would share the responses back and forth all the way through. This took hours. And what they learned is once the project was over, that most of those pairs of people stayed in connection. They looked for each other. Two of them even got married, but these people stayed together in connection. But here's what's interesting. They also tried the project where one person asked all the questions first, and then the other person asked all the questions second. It was a disaster. There was no connection. It was super awkward, and the people did not stay connected. The lesson there is that we are physiologically designed for reciprocity. That means that we need to find that sweet spot in communication and relationships. We need to listen, We need to find out what the other person needs, what their wants are, be passionate about how our work or our service can elevate their lives. But we also need to find a way to share a little bit about ourselves and let them see us more than just a sales mouthpiece. Let them see us as a human being just like they are. So that's my bonus tip for building loyalty with clients in 2025. All of this comes from a place of genuine, sincere care, remembering to lead with love. So if y'all don't have any other questions, I think I can take us to a goodbye. I see a heart from Ingrid. Any other thoughts or questions before we close this out for the new year? I see that. Happy New Year. Thank you all for showing up on December 31st. A friend of mine, I do want to share this just because it's fun. We've been friends for, let's see, I don't know, since 1987 or somewhere around there. Anyway, we had this little ornament and we send it back every year. I think this year was like the 29th time we've sent this back and forth. And inside it, she sent me these earrings. I don't know if y'all can see them, but they're martinis. So Happy New Year to the Daily Huddle. And I'm going to close us out with our tenets. And I look forward to sharing some great, exciting news next Tuesday, the first Tuesday of 2025. So let's remember our tenets. Remember today to lead with love. Love your family, your community, love your clients. And remember to give. Give without any hesitation. It doesn't have to be expensive. In the words of Mother Teresa, it's not how much you give, but how much you put into giving. So remember to give. And remember not to take life too seriously. Throw your head back and laugh. Let those endorphins fly. And take care of your body by reducing your stress. That means to put mostly plants and a lot of water in your body. Get your rest and make sure that you get up, get out, and move that body. Happy New Year. Until next time, I'll see you all, Daily Huddle family, in 2025.